situations of society, was asked two questions. The first was, what are the behaviors of people that surprise you the most? Plato enumerated them in order. They get bored in childhood and hurry to grow up. But then
everybody can relate to that one. How many times when we were younger did we say to ourselves, hey, do you know what? Oh, I can't wait until I'm older. When I'm 18, I can do this. When I'm a grown up, I can do that. Nobody will tell me what I want to do. And then it's so funny because it's almost like a scam, because then it's like you actually hit 18 years of age and you're like, hold on, I just realized life was a lot more fun when I was a kid. You know, I know a lot of people can relate to that one. So it's crazy that Plato was saying this like how many millennia ago. Like, it's insane. It just goes to show that he was really ahead of his time.
they miss their childhood. They lose their health to earn money, but they pay money to regain their health. Worried about tomorrow, they forget about today.
Again, that's another one. That's another big one right there. Like, literally worried about. Sorry, not even that one. We'll get onto that one in a second. But the whole thing where it's like you lose health trying to gain money, and then it's like once you gain it, it's like you're trying to get your health back now. So many people spend so much time trying to chase this idea of financial freedom, and I guess sometimes they achieve it, but it's like once you do achieve it, you haven't achieved it without sacrificing something. You know, you don't get something without not sacrificing something else. And it's like, what have you sacrificed? And what they usually have sacrificed is their time. So here they are with all this money at like 60 years of age, and it's like, okay, I have the money now, but my time's gone. So which was really valuable? What was more valuable to me? But again, Plato was honestly ahead of his time. That is something crazy to be saying, considering he said that so long ago and it's still relevant today. Just shows how ahead of his time he was. Like, he was really built different.
In the end, they live neither today nor tomorrow. They live as if they will never die, but they die as if they had never lived. Then came the second question. So what do you suggest? The sage enumerated again. Don't try to make anyone like you. The only thing to do is to leave yourself to be loved. And the most important thing in life is not to have the most, but to need the least.
Oh man, again, this guy is on point. Every sentence he literally made there was just so accurate. Even the last sentence on the first question there, where he spoke on people, what was it? That's a good one. Also, worried about tomorrow, they completely forget about today. And this is a great one actually, because this just touches on the topic of anxiety, because I feel as though it's something. There's a lot of pressure nowadays on whether you're a male or female to uphold a certain standard, you know. And when there's pressure, there's anxiety, you know. Some people obviously step up to it and they have no issue dealing with pressure, while others face anxiety. And it's like people go about living their lives on a day-to-day basis, not necessarily worrying about what they're doing there and then in the current moment, or about what they should be doing for the next day, or what the future holds for them. But if you're constantly focused on the next day or the next part of your life, you're never here, you're never present here, enjoying the moment and living right now. So that's definitely a big one. And it's funny because you end up constantly focusing on the next day, and you act as if, you know, you have an infinite amount of next days. But as we know, our time is limited on this earth, so it's really important to make sure that you're present here and now, and ensure that rather than focusing on, okay, what I'm going to do in the future, enjoy what you're doing now currently, and then focus on the future. Well, let's look at the last little bit he touched on now.
Then came the second question. So what do you suggest? The sage enumerated again. Don't try to make anyone like you. The only thing to do is to leave yourself to be loved. And the most important thing in life is not to have the most, but to need the least.
Now that's also a good one. Don't try to make anybody like you. How many people just try and almost they just try and copy other people's lifestyles, you know. Like, everybody's different. Like, it's going to be an extremely empty life if you're constantly trying to chase a certain lifestyle that you saw somebody else has, or chase certain success that you've seen somebody else have. Why not rather, instead of chasing what they have, focus on what you currently have yourself and what you got going on and what you can personally achieve? Because honestly, when you get to that level where you are at the success of whoever it is that you looked up to, and then you realize, what happens when you realize, okay, this doesn't necessarily make me happy, so I spent all this time chasing something that isn't even making me fulfilled. So it's a funny one, that one, isn't it? But let's look at the last part there. Yeah, so it's like go about your life in a way where you don't aim to have the most, but you aim to have the least. You don't aim to have the most, but you aim to need the least. The one that needs the least is the one that's genuinely happy. So yeah, that's a good one.